sloppy spod mix really, you know, something that holds in it when it's in the air. So that one first. And then we've got, far from your standard one as it happens, it is your holes in it like the normal ones. Again, for your pellets, hemp, boilies, whatever you choose. Little bit boilies though, little bit of padded stuff in the top, little bit of ground bait. But the most unusual part of these, or the next step on as far as we're concerned, is the load system. No more cluster of strings which you get your fingers tangled up in and you get slop hanging off it all over the place. Look at that. How quick and easy is that? Now I've been using these for about 6 months. And yes, for me it is short fishing and turning it into time. That speeds me up no end. Although, not just the speed, the ease of doing it. So, have a little look at the Avid Air range and I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
Come in, all the way in. Weed as well.
There he is, nice little common from Oxley's. Stamp of the new stockfish. These are certainly ones for the future. Well, I'm just going to show you the rig that I've been using. I'm using a 16-pound Tiger Line mainline all the way in. The thread and go tubing, which John's going to show you shortly. Running all the way in to the little flat lead clip. Now this little beauty incorporates a speed link or a quick clip. You can put the 2 sizes inside it. It's a very low profile, very flat, it sits on the bottom. It's beautiful colour for the camouflage. And it's simple to change your hook links. You can keep all your fishing really speed and efficient. Simply clip on your sticks. A little bit of silicone, which I've already put on the needle. Clip him on. Silicone over the top and you're fishing. And for the Oxford fishing, it's a perfect setup.
Right, now there's a break in the action, I'd like to show you our tungsten tubing. Well, people don't realise how supple this tubing really is. It's really soft, very, very heavy, and as I say, very, very supple. It comes 3 lengths in a pack, and it's already pre-threaded onto wires. All you need to do is take off the little stopper, thread your main line through, and thread it onto your main line. It's that simple. Looking down this tubing, you can see a little clip here, slightly larger than the normal clip that they use, but this is the tube gripper clip. This actually grips tubing. The age-old problem with tubing that always falls out the back of your tail rubber, this now, it stays in. If you're worried about safety, if a fish gets tethered up in any snags, it actually breaks away, so there's no problem. From that clip, we've also done an inline version now. Now this inline version, I'll open it up for you to see. It's a little coffin where the swivel sits inside. I don't know if you can see that there. Swivel sits inside, the tubing is gripped with the coffin. Pinch it, put it inside your inline lead. Look at that. Tubing doesn't even come out. Brilliant for fishing bags. No more hassle with tubing. This is the perfect product if you're into bag fishing or even when tubing is allowed on lakes where lead core is banned. Well then Mark, a couple of little fish you had in the night. How big is that one?
This one's 24 pounds.
And this one doesn't really matter. How would you catch them?
Just a tight bit of bait, put some particles out on a small tiny little spot.
Using a few maggots, weren't you?
Yeah, and a few maggots.
And a few casters.
And a few casters, and some corn, some hemp, and a few pellets that I nicked off a nige.
Good result for an overnight then, ain't it, mate?
Yeah, spot on really. Put all 3 rods on it and just fish for a take. I thought I'd rather get 1 take.
Excellent.
And ended up getting 2.
And someone else can catch them.
I just want to talk to you about some of the methods that I use for fishing these big gravel pits and other lakes. And I don't often see it used on the bank. And it's this PVA bag. These solid PVA bags probably catch me 90% of my fish. They're so effective, you can cast them anywhere in the lake and they're fishing straight away, and they're ever so simple to tie. This is basically the rig, just a short length for lead core, and the reason for the The short length is so I can pre-tie them when I'm at home doing nothing, just after my tea or whatever. A 2.5 ounce little lead. These can be chucked up to 80 yards and they fly very well. They're flat, so they hug the bottom. They don't slide around. You've got the long plastic stem, just help making when you're twisting the bag up. Makes it very easy to tie. And we've just got a short little braided hook length, a small sticky sharp hook, and then a tiny little bait and a little maggot stop on the end just for a bit of colour, just for the fish to identify the hook bait when it's sat in the bag of pellets on the bottom. To make this easy, as I see an awful lot of people just filling these bags up and hooking the hook through the bag and then casting them out, and that's just not the way to go. The way to go is to put everything inside the bag, and it doesn't matter if you want to use big baits, because we've got some bigger bags as well as a big loader. This is the small one, the size 5 bags that I like, but for bigger baits I use the size 7s and the 8s with a bigger bag loader. This all goes into one bag, tie it up, chuck it in the pond, and you're fishing.
Clearly there's something wrong with that man over there.
It was that edgy on.
Do you want to sweeten, darling?
I'm not sweet.
No. If you're going to moan, go back to your own tent and have another hour in bed. Yours is excited.
Tea then.
You've got tea?
2.
I'll tell you what, mate. He is halfway. Oh, it's broken. Don't worry, it's broken. Yeah, need to be adjustable because you have to fold the reels in underneath each other. But there you go. Just get smaller reels in future. Buy the buzz bars, sell your reels and get smaller ones. Don't use handles. You fold that for Yates, you fold them in at Yates. Some clever little lads now.
Here's the first one of the morning on a solid PVA bag, about 90 yards range. Drop off in line work to treat, leg come off straight away on the take. Played the fish out in open water until it tired. Nice result. Been working hard to get a bite this morning. Lovely fish.
A pretty one.
The effort you've put in for that, that should be £45.
Should be.
So, how many swims you fished?
4 swims I've fished so far, and this is my 5th today. So
What it lacks in size, that is a right little stunner, isn't it?
it's a beauty, yeah, it really is.
Solid bag or stick?
It was a little stick, a little drop lead,
Yeah.
a little flat lead clip, and it whizzed away, dropped the lead, done as it should,
Yeah.
and it fought really, really hard.
And they're still showing here now.
They are, yeah. I'm confident of another 1 or 2.
That's good stuff.
So,
If we pop in back then,
yeah.
and then myself and Chris are going to sit down and have a chat about the Avid lead range. Right, you find us at Linear Fisheries, Oxley's Lake. Now Linear's, I don't know how many lakes are on the complex, but they all require different tactics, different ways of fishing, and no finer person to ask than his venue regular and expert, Chris Lowe.
Thank you very
Chris,
much.
talk
Nice
us
to meet
through
you.
what you do and which ones you like, mate.
Okay, well, my favourites are the bag leads.
Right.
which is that one there.
Yep.
Profile is so flat in a bag.
Yeah.
Just the pellet that melts around it, it's awesome in a
Do you
bag.
only use these in a bag? Or do
Don't
you use
always use them in a bag.
Yeah.
They are designed to be used with or without a bag for the purpose of the hole in the side. You can put a PVA nugget in and just hook the
Basically
hook.
stopping your tangling and all
Yeah,
that.
that's right. So you can cast it out without a bag, but I tend to use them 99% of the time in a bag. Profile is so flat on the leg
Yeah,
bed.
I mean, I've used these even for a bit of barbelling down the river.
Yeah.
Which you obviously don't need your nugget in the side, but because of the low profile,
That's right.
they lug the bottom, not the old coffin heads
Yeah.
used to.
And the colour's superb as well on pretty much all the venues that I use
Whatever
down here.
lake bed you're on,
yeah, that's
you know,
right. Yeah, the silt, the
camouflage.
weed, the gravel.
Yeah, fantastic, mate.
It's one of the best colours I've come across.
The next one, the drop-off ones.
Yes,
Do you use them a lot then?
I do use those
These
a
are
lot as well.
definitely inside a bag lead, aren't they, really?
Inside a bag, yes, and you can easily change the weight of the lead on these ones. Just slide them up and change the weight
Yeah.
straight off the end.
Off.
And
Yeah.
you can go from a 4-ounce lead to a 2-ounce lead. Quick change.
And these are important because you know, every venue, and not just linear, it's getting weedier and weedier every year. And,
Everywhere,
you know,
yeah.
you need these to drop off on most lakes to even consider banking.
I'd say on
fish, really,
almost every take these days
Yeah.
now. From about March onwards, you've pretty much got to drop
Drop
the
your
lead.
bob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have. Otherwise, you've got no chance of landing a fish.
And do you often use the great big heavy ones?
I use from about a 3.5 ounce
Yeah.
to a 2 ounce. They're my favourites.
And what would
That's depending on the distance that I'm
that's what I
fishing.
was just going to say.
Yeah,
Is
the
that what
distance that I'm
decides
fishing.
it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fair
And if
point.
I'm fishing over the silt, then I tend to go for the slightly lighter leads. You know, just for I don't want them digging in too far into the
Yeah.
softer silt. But generally, the distance dictates the weight
Yeah,
of the
fair
lead.
comment then. Because the profile lead, you know, is going to hook your fish anyway, isn't it? You
Every
know,
time.
The flat, you know, the wide bob, you've got your bolt. sort of
That's right.
effect there, haven't
Straight
you, when they're
away,
picking
yeah.
every go.
No movement whatsoever.
Now these are also a drop off, aren't they?
They are a drop off, yeah. And your lead core or your leaders, all the rest of it can just go on the outside, just so it doesn't it makes it
You've
neater.
got these and all with little stems.
That's right. Pushes
These are
straight in.
superb, mate, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
And
pops
they
in.
fly out quicker than a swivel would pop out.
Well, this is it. I mean, look, they're even slightly tapered when they're wet. Pop,
Yeah, straight away.
when they're
yeah.
lubricated, should we
That's
say?
right.
They pop out.
Yeah,
Lead drops off with the sleeve and the tube and sleeve at the end, and we're away, aren't we?
every time. Because sometimes you can find with a swivel that can just dig in there a little bit longer.
Yeah, and it grips.
Yeah, that could be the cause of a lost fish, couldn't it?
Yeah, and if it doesn't, well, I mean, the whole chemistry or the bio, whatever you want to call it, of it is that drops, that pops out, lead drops, pop, tail rubbers off,
Gone.
and here we
Fish
go,
is on
and
the
it's
surface and playing.
And it's
it in.
amazing, you know. That's a 2.5, and at 60 yards out, the fish is on the surface almost immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
And 2.5 weighs. I know it weighs 2.5, or we joke about
That's
it, but
right.
it's nothing, is it?
It is nothing.
But
That's
it's
right.
enough to keep them down there and give them an advantage,
yeah.
isn't it?
I
against
think
you in the week?
even on an ounce lead, you can tell the difference when you're playing a fish on it.
Lose
You
the
know, so
weight.
if you can get rid of that lead, no matter what size lead, I think you've got a better chance of landing
Yeah.
a fish.
Yeah,
on
fair
the
comment.
whole complex because of the weed.
Yeah.
And that's not just here though, that's all across the
But it's
country.
everywhere, you know.
It is, yeah.
I get around like you do with your tutorials, not just linear.
That's
You
right.
know, I'm all over the place, 2 or 3 different places every week, and these, I mean, everything we're going through here, essential.
Yes.
Isn't it? Essential for the different tactics. But the main thing is, as you say, I'm getting off it, is drop the lead.
Yes, that's
you know,
right, yeah.
nowadays. So what about these little critters then?
Brilliant on the slopes.
Yeah.
And there's so many gravel bars, plateaus.
Well, when you and Ange, to
Shells.
be fair, who was caught more fish than you today,
Yeah, that's true.
were whizzing around the lake earlier, I spoke to you about the shallow margin on the island.
Yeah,
wasn't it? So,
that's right.
And these, in that situation,
Perfect for gripping on there. The last thing you want is to be chucking out a lead like that, really, and it rolling all the way down to the bottom.
yeah.
You know,
So
whereas
when it hits
that
the bottom, leave it
stays put.
and she'll lay there.
That's right. Yeah, and
yeah,
you've
fair
got
comment.
instant grip straight away.
Yeah.
Bolt effect comes into action straight
See,
away.
everything here, I mean, we got the distance one now as it happens, but everything here is well thought out. There's a reason, it's got its job.
That's right.
Specific job, specific leads.
Absolutely.
And that's it. This is my, I mean, I use a lot of lead clip work, and again, I'm fishing on the Manor this year a lot, and I like to use longer hook links because it's slightly bigger, a lot bigger fish in there, as we know, Chris.
That's right.
But I don't want to use the flat bags in the weed, the silk weed. So you know the flat.
Well, you don't want it
bombs.
buried, do you? Really?
So I use that, mate. I use it, and they're off every time.
That's
you know,
right.
You get a belt in
Yeah.
the take. But for distance, these are sweet, aren't they? You know the shape of
Well,
them.
the clever
they
thing
fly.
about these is the shape of them, and it. I mean, it's perfect. It's the only one on the market designed like this.
Yeah, because it's slightly flattened. Isn't
That's
it?
right,
People
and
miss
that makes the difference. The grip on that is tremendous.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
You know, every other lead on the market is perfectly round, and it
Yeah.
rolls all over the place, and the fish can move it all over the place before them even hooked.
Yeah.
These ones, they can't do that.
Yeah, fair comment, mate.
And it makes a big difference. That
So
does.
really, I mean, what we've got here, we've got a lead that covers every angling situation.
Yeah, I can't think
all
of
these
an
venues.
angling situation that these wouldn't cover.
There you go then. Well,
This would do it for me
no reason
all the time.
is there?
No.
Avid leads cover every situation.
Every
there you go. On every
situation.
lake we go to, and you and I get round a lot of lakes, mate. So.
Absolutely, yes.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah.
Let's see it again.